Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Mike here from AX Garage. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're gonna start off with a 1996 Acura Integra GS-R we just picked up a few weeks ago, and we're gonna put this car back to stock as much as we can. And first thing we're gonna do is remove this carbon fiber hood back to the OEM factory hood. So let's get right to it. Hey John, I gotta say, man, this Seibon hood looks, man, almost like a new condition. It's really good condition.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like new. You know, I recently bought one for the DA, and I got it brand new too. And this is exactly how mine came. You know, this isn't clear coated. This is just resin. So you can see there may be, there's no, like, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that it's perfect condition with the resin. But what you want to do when you get one of these hoods is probably put clear on them, and that's going to make them last forever. But this thing is in mint condition. This is the same way it would be if you ordered one. So that's going, because this is the OEM build, and we have almost all the stock parts when we got the car. It's very convenient for us because half our mission is hunting for parts. So we can show you some of the other stuff that we're going to go ahead and remove and put back to stock. We have our DC Sports headers. We have the stock manifold with the cover. We also, to accommodate this big header, he put a slim fan here. This is coming out. We have the stock fan and shroud. That's going to go back in. Obviously the intake. We have the stock air box as well. We have the stock intake manifold. This is Skunk 2 Pro Series Black Edition.
Is it pretty good manifold there, John?
Yeah, it's a good upgrade for the GS-R manifold. The GS-R manifold is a variable length runner manifold to maximize low-end torque. It has a flapper set of butterflies in there to change the runner length, but this is good for all-around power. Also has a billet throttle body on it. They're good.
What size is it, John?
Let's see. Really big. I have no idea. It's nice, but we got the stock stuff.
It's not acceptable, John.
Listen, man, I can lie to you guys and tell you what I know, but I'm probably gonna tell you the truth when I don't know.
I know you've been talking about this fuel rail. Tell me more about this fuel rail right over here.
So this is a Skunk 2 composite fuel rail. They're very nice, and what they're known for is the fact that this is probably the only fuel rail that possibly could give you more horsepower. Now, what does that mean? I don't know exactly. The thing is that this, being a composite fuel rail, does not heat sink like an aluminum fuel rail that the stock one has and most aftermarket ones. So this will maintain a lower temperature on your fuel. And what a lot of people don't know is fuel is not only there to cause ignition in the cylinder, but it's also a coolant. It cools your car by fuel. Fuel is very light, and it also, like I said, cools. So this keeps your fuel cooler fuel, cooler engine temps, more horsepower in theory. Other thing this car had removed is the ABS system. We have to see how far we're gonna go with that, because the setup right now is actually not bad. They did the RS brake conversion on here with some steel braided lines.
They did it right.
It's done right, and it may not be worth the hassle of doing the stock stuff, the original. We might just leave it this way. We're gonna get rid of these Skunk 2 bars. We have the stock strut bar. There's also one in the rear as well. And as far as it goes up here, oh, what am I saying? I missed another awesome part, is the motor mounts. It has a set of Hasport Street 62A dampening, or rubber here. These are gonna come out, and the other thing me and Mike were talking about on my EG build, a lot of these parts cross over, so I'm gonna be able to buy these parts and put them on my car as well. So these mounts and that rail that's probably heading my way. I know a couple other guys in the shop have a couple parts here too that they're gonna end up purchasing as well.
So are you guys just grabbing a bunch of parts from this car?
No, we are paying for them. Ooh. With love and money, you know.
Love, money, like maybe a lot more love, a little bit of money.
You know, it all depends how you're feeling that way. The money's going in your direction, not mine, you know?
Ooh,
From my
like
pocket
it.
to yours.
Talking about money, let's go ahead and remove the money hood right over here.
Yeah, this thing's already, we have the stock hood, and so we're gonna pull this thing off and throw the stock hood on it.
Damn, we did a pretty good job lining up the hood, huh?
Yeah, I know, I'm a professional. I had to show you how to do it, so I'm glad you listened to what I had to say, and it lined up really good. I'm lying, you told me what to do. But either way, we were looking at the hood, and you could see everything lines up really nice, but you could see the finish on here is dull compared to this, and we realized that the owner must have buffed the car, but had already had the carbon fiber hood on it.
Yeah.
So this didn't get the treatment that this got. This was also sitting in a box in the garage, and he said this is one of the first things he changed on it. But this car didn't get to sit outside. So definitely, we're gonna see how this buffs out. It should buff out good. I know there's some swirl marks, but.
I like this transformation already.
Already, I mean, because it looks more stock. That's the kind of thing you like, right?
I love OEM.
Yeah, I love aftermarket.
Hey, what about EM1 behind you, John?
But that old thing, it may be on real spoon wheels.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They are real spoon.
Yeah, they are. We mounted them up for the customer. He's here getting his front bumper repainted, and he's a local guy here, and he follows the channel, and he comes here to get us to do some work.
You know, one day I think we should get his car on the channel, because this is a really nice car.
Who knows? Maybe we can do it with his front bumper. Never know.
All right, so we got the hood out of the way. Next up, let's go ahead and work on the rear suspension. We have the Skunk 2 lower control arm in the back here, along with the ASR sway bar brace setup. We got the stock unit right over here, stock sway bar, and also the lower control arm. So next up, let's go ahead and remove the wheels so we can get to some of the fastener on the lower control arms. All right, so we got the aftermarket lower control arm along with the ASR sway bar and the brace on the table. The factory unit is back on the car. A little tiny sway bar back here, and also the stock lower control arm. Let's go ahead and work on the exhaust system. We got a DC catback exhaust system here. Once we get the exhaust system out, we want to go ahead and swap out the original shifter. Over here up front, we have the DC Sport 4.1 header. We got a stock unit. We go ahead and swap that out. One of the things that we are missing is the factory suspension. So you guys know anyone with factory GS-R complete suspensions, springs and struts assembly, please let us know. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and work on the exhaust system. So with the DC Sport exhaust system out of the way, now we can get access to the short shifter. All right, we just finished putting on the OEM shifter along with lubricating all of the moving components. Now over here we have the DC exhaust system here, and the only thing we're gonna use off the system is this factory OEM rubber hanger. So we'll start off with the exhaust B pipe right over here, then we're gonna work our way back to the muffler. And yep, we're all done with the factory B pipe and the muffler. Next up, let's go ahead and bring the car down, finish putting back the shifter and also the console. So we put everything back together here. One of the things we found where the shift boot was hanging. So if you look over here, this shift boot slide in right over here. And one of the reason that this plate was keep falling down is because I guess this slide through here. You see over here, it's supposed to have two tabs that's hold the shift boot and screw it down, and fortunately it's gone. So and the piece is discontinued. So we're gonna have to source another piece, but in the meantime we'll go ahead and put it back together, and then we'll come back to it once we find the parts. So to finish off the exhaust system, we're gonna have to remove this DC Sport 4.1 header because it's a one-piece construction. We probably have a little clearance issues taking it off. So based on what I remember from years ago, we are going to remove the AC condenser fan motor right over here, which is gonna give us a lot more space when we try to remove it. Now, once we put the original header back together, we're gonna be able to put back the original cooling fan motor for the radiator, which is sitting right there at the end of the table. Now over here we have the original header and also the A pipe along with all the fastener that we need. All the ones here is missing, so we got a brand new OEM one. And take a look at this heat shield here, 60,000 mile heat shield, still in very, very good condition. I'm very happy with that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, there you have it. We have the factory OEM 421 headers assembly here, along with this factory heat shield. Over here, we have the 41 headers we just took out from DC Sport. And on the bottom here, I call this some love scrape. Now over here, the factory exhaust manifold is missing all of the hardware on the bottom. We have some factory brand new studs along with some nuts here. For the heat shield, we have brand new bolts to go on it. It's going to really set off the engine bay. Yep, so we're able to get 2 stud in, but not able to get this one in because it was stripped. So able to get it all cleaned out. Look at all this metal, huh? And now we can install the stud. So while we're waiting for the cooling to be drained 100%, let's talk about the reason why we're draining it. So over here we have the cooling fan motor, but in order for us to put the fan back in and the stroud, we have to remove the upper radiator hose. And the upper radiator hose and the bottom, they both aftermarket. Now, I'm not sure you guys be able to see it, but it's a little wet here. But before, it was actually leaking from the bottom radiator hose. So while we're there, we'll take the opportunity to go ahead and replace it with a set of factory OEM hoses. So we finally got the factory OEM exhaust system back on the car along with 2 brand new radiator hoses. Next up, we want to go ahead and get these intake manifold out of the way, but we're waiting for some parts. Before the parts comes in, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. We need to get the front and rear bumper painted. As you can see on episode number 1, there's some deep scratches on the side along with the front over here. And over here, as you can see, the paint completely chipped off. So we want to go ahead and take the bumper out front and back so Brian can get started on it while we're waiting for the parts to arrive. And take a look at the back here. Same thing here. Now the rest of the body are really good shape. So all we got to do now, adjust the bumper in terms for the paint. So let's go ahead and get started. Well guys, we make great progress on our 96 Integra GS-R. We start this video by replacing the Seibon Carbon Fiber Hood to the factory OEM unit. We moved to the back of the car, replacing the ASR rear subframe sway bar setup, back to the OEM unit. Then we went ahead to work on the exhaust system, DC Sport 4-1 headers along with the catback exhaust system. Everything went back to OEM. While we there, went ahead to replace both radiator hoses to the factory brand new OEM unit, replacing those leaking Skunk 2 unit that we have. While we're waiting for all the parts to come in, we went ahead to remove both front and rear bumpers, headlights and taillights, so we can send those to the body shop so Brian can get those ready for us to get back so we can put everything back together on the next episode. And this wrap up for this episode. You guys like what you see, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification. My name is Mike, behalf of AXE Garage. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.